All right, so today we've got our Apprentice out. This is a great top wing trainer, but we're not reviewing it. We're converting it into a search and rescue plane. Let's get to it. So last year we had a plane go down on a maiden. I believe it was Tate's F-16. Beautiful plane. And at the airfield we were at, it's surrounded by a lot of marshland, a lot of reeds. And well, we hunted and hunted and hunted for hours and we couldn't find that plane. So not feeling great about losing a plane. Whoever does, right? I decided to convert my little Apprentice here into a really stable platform to put a pan and tilt camera on so we could go out and actually search for the downed plane. It worked out really well, but sadly we never found the plane. I figured this is a good enough of a project that I wanted to share it. It's one of those things that, hey, if it saves you a few $100 on finding a plane that went down, well, shoot, if I help one person, I'm happy with it. So let's get into the parts that we need to do the build on this one. So number one is you need a really stable platform to build off of. By stable, I mean flight characteristics. I'm using the Apprentice for really two reasons. One, it's a top wing trainer. It's going to be real easy to fly, low, it's slow, really be able to take and you know, spend our time looking for this down plane. And really number two, the save system that this has. Having that auto stabilization so I can focus more on keeping the plane on the course that I need it on versus all the other flight characteristics of the plane, especially as we went out and it was a high wind day when we were looking, just adds to it. Now, you can use any plane really to do this. I just am a big fan of this platform and I think that it worked really well for me. All right, next up, we're gonna need to have some basic FPV gear. We're gonna need a wireless camera. We're gonna need some form or another of onboard power supply, a radio receiver for our pan and tilt gimbal, and in this case, we're using a modified 30 amp ESC as a BEC, just because I didn't have one on standby, and you know, if I lost the gear, I didn't want to feel like I was out too much. The last thing we need is a pan and tilt mechanism. We've got a couple servos that we're going to be using, little 9-gram blue servos. You know, these are like $2 each, and this is just a resin printed 3D printing, you know, a little kit that we found on Thingiverse. There'll be links to all of these components in the description and links to the files, the STL files at Thingiverse for this specific pan and tilt kit that we're using. Now, I really like this pan and tilt kit because it's really low profile. Very, very low profile. And we're going to be modifying our Apprentice to accept it slightly to even reduce our footprint further. So why don't we dive into that? Everything that we're doing to this Apprentice is really simple. All we're doing is replacing this pop-out panel right here. We're taking and building a modified version of this that acts as a backpack with all the camera gear on it. That way I can take and throw on a search and rescue mod, or take it out, set it back to being normal, and let the kids fly it on the weekend. So why don't we get into the build portion of this, and we'll just walk you through what we have to do to build that little pack. All right, so the build for this is actually very simple and straightforward here. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've taken my component from the Apprentice, this little panel, and I've gone ahead and just made a similar pattern to it with my laser and laser cutter, and cut out a new blank. That way we can save that. So we're going to use this as our building platform. Now, what we need to do is start off by building our pan and tilt kit. And so we're going to dive right into that. I've got these really nice little 3M adhesive double-sided foam. These things are unbelievably strong. Big fan of these. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you real quick is I've gone ahead and just kind of prepared this. This is the bottom disc on this pan tilt. and you'll notice there's a servo horn that I've super glued in, and that's how our servo binds and allows this rotation. So this is very simple to put together. What I'm going to do is go ahead and grab a servo, and we have our bottom plate and our top plate, and you can see we've got a notch cut out for our servo to stick into. There we go. And that is a really snug fit. If you feel like you need to put a drop of super glue there, I wouldn't say that's a bad idea. But you can see how these come together, and that gives us our rotation for our base. Pretty slick. All right, so the next part that we're going to be using, or mounting, connecting, is this little hinge piece, and this just simply slides in here. Now I will be putting a drop of super glue there, but for demonstration purposes here on this build and brevity, I'm not going to do that on camera. The next component that we are going to be putting on this is the camera mount, and this is really a very straightforward, very simple thing. We're using a 2mm or 2M screw, boy, they're very small, and nut, and that's what's going to connect that together. All right, so there we go. Really easy to attach that, and boy, pretty sleek, pretty straightforward. Okay, moving on. Our next step is we're going to mount our second servo here. And you can see we've got our control arm that's going to connect right here, and that's what's going to create our motion for the pan and the tilt. So this is pan, this is tilt of our camera. Very low profile unit. So let's go ahead and let's put that together here. Alrighty, so we can see we've got a zip tie. That's actually part of the instructions of this specific build. I did put a drop of super glue here and here too as well, just to hold that in place. All right, so now we need to connect up our control rod. All right, so I've got my little bend here in it, and to connect it, we simply fish that through. We'll do the same with our control rod. We've already got our servo centered, and there we go. All right, we just need to mount a screw here and here to hold everything together. All right, so next up is mounting everything to our board. This is a really easy process. There's really nothing to it. The only part that matters is, you know, that we have it facing forward for the camera here. We'll go ahead and mount that. So I'm going to just use a screwdriver here and mark a little hole, and I'm going to just take and enlarge this hole. And I want this big enough those servo leads can get through. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and fish our servo leads through. Number 1 and 2. Nice. We're going to leave a little slack on these as we mount everything. That way we don't have anything binding as we're using it. Go ahead and take our double-sided foam. The other thing that's nice about this foam is it dampens some of the vibration that you get from the airplane motor. And there we go. We're just going to stick that in place, and that makes for a lot better image quality as you're looking. Next up, we're going to go ahead and mount our little camera. Now in this case, I'm using a little 25 milliwatt drone camera. Has the helical antenna built into it. These are available for $14 on Amazon, and just a great little camera. The other thing that's nice is it can actually run off of the 5-volt regulated power on your receiver. So I don't need a secondary power supply. So I like that. So we're going to go ahead and punch that on through as well. There we go. Pull out a little slack. And we're going to mount our camera right here using another piece of foam tape. Mount my camera right there, and that is good to go. So now all we need is, well, the gear to make the thing work. So our camera, we are going to be attaching to our radio, and we're going to be doing that on our bind battery channel because we just want straight power off of that. Now I've already bound this to my radio and it's already got a saved profile, so I can get away with doing that. Next, we are going to take our, there it is, servo that is connected to the base, so that's what creates that rotation, and we are going to be putting that on our ailerons right there, and we'll be connecting our second lead, which is the pan, which is up and down, to our elevator. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and move this to the back of the board, and the reason for that is we just want to have it away from anything that might be able to create interference. We want to have a nice clean signal coming out of this. Now our radios run at 2.8 gigahertz. Video runs at 5.4, 5.2. Boy, can't remember. If you remember, throw it in the comments down below. That way everyone is able to get that right. And again, another piece of foam tape, and we're going to go ahead and mount our radio. We're going to do the same thing here with the battery and our mock BEC, and we'll just stack those on top of each other. But we're going to be putting those up at the front, and the reason we're putting in the front is, well, we want to make sure our CG is not very affected by this pack. Now this is very lightweight, but it will move our CG slightly back at the plane, so we'll need to take into account for that with either our battery placement in the front or by adding a little bit of ballast in the nose. All right, there we have it. There is our completed search backpack. Pretty easy, and all we have to do is connect our power here, and this thing's up and running. Very simple. It's meant to be simple, but should work really well for us. All right, folks, so that was an easy build. Super easy, actually. We just simply mount this in. We're going to use a few T-pins to hold this in place through that foam. And we've got ourselves a search and rescue setup on our Apprentice. Again, great stable platform. And, you know, it's just great to have these little drone parts and, you know, knowing how to play with servos and whatnot, and having really great resources like Thingiverse, you know, so we can take and find a quick solution, go print something and run out and be able to take and put it to use in the field. And if you don't have access to a 3D printer at home, there are dozens of really great websites out there that will allow you to take and find your file and have it printed and delivered to your home for just a few dollars. So you don't have to have that big investment for a, you know, 3D printer, and still you can have access to all of these resources. So yeah, kind of fun. Now, one other thing to bear in mind here. Now we're using, again, a 25 milliwatt transmitter on this little setup here. As I understand it, double check me before you take and build one of these yourselves. There's all sorts of laws with regards to radios, transmission signals. Shoot, I think even, who was it? HobbyKing got in some pretty big trouble recently over some of their transmitters, not conforming to US standards and laws. So be careful about building these types of things, bringing them online. I do believe the 25 milliwatt is okay. The downside to 25 milliwatt is you're not going to get a terribly long range, maybe 300 yards, just using standard FPV gear, receivers, things like that, camera equipment. They do sell on Amazon, and I'll link to this, even though there's a caveat here. And bear in mind, I'm no FCC lawyer. This is a 1200 milliwatt transmitter. And there's a huge variety of components out on the market right now. Caddx makes this little camera that is unbelievable on how sharp and clear in resolution, and the number of lines of resolution that it produces. And a transmitter like this can transmit that, and you'll get really amazing image quality, better than something like this. But I believe in the United States, you have to have a ham operator license to power this on. If you do, you're breaking the law if you don't have the license. So be careful out there on what you pick and choose and find. You don't want to take and put yourself in a situation where you can get in trouble. The other thing too is, and let's just face it, there are more laws and more regulations affecting our hobby every single day. And all it takes is one or two idiots out there doing something they shouldn't, and we can all lose the right and opportunity to have fun. And yeah, I love this hobby. I'd hate to give that up. Now, one possible modification I did think of, and this is just because I was again looking through Thingiverse, is they actually have got some really great RC bomb drop kits. Just a little servo, control rod, and boom, you're dropping bombs at the flick of a switch. Well, one nice addition to this would be a rolled up streamer with a weight. And by using one of those little bomb drop kits, as you're flying over and you identify where your target is, you can actually let that go and have a streamer go down and mark that area for you. So again, just an idea, something fun, something that I built and used, and there's endless opportunities for this. So get out there, have some fun, make something great, and keep flying. Anything to say about our rescue mission?
Don't breathe cattails.
Wiser wisdom have never been spoken.